Where the good men at? Where?
All right, guys, go and check out this compilation video. Here we go.
Where are the good men at? And if you know where they at, can you tell me where they are? Because it's not in Florida. And I know definitely not in Atlanta. Because I hear a lot of things about that. But where they at? Can you tell me where they at? Because I haven't seen one yet. Not one. And the ones that I have seen already taken, who wants that? I don't want somebody that already has somebody else. I don't. Where the good men at? Where?
Right? You can't make this stuff up. So she's hooting and hollering, wondering where are the good men at? Let's read the caption here. Where the F the good men at? Siri won't answer me. Right? So could you imagine her, hey Siri. I mean, listen, at this point in time, resistance is futile, right? Why tire yourself out? Stop squirming. Stop squirming. Now, to be fair, maybe she's being sincere. Who knows? Who knows, right? But what we do know is by 2030, 45 to 50% roughly of these modern women are going to be single and childless. So the lack of response that she's receiving from men, the good men, that is a response, right? No response is a response, because after all, the single data market determines your value and your worth when it comes to the single data market, right? If men are just simply not interested, that's telling you something. Or the good men that she's referring to, she's simply passing up on those good men every single day. Okay, the good men out and about at Walmart, the grocery store, what have you. Yeah, she's passing up on good men every single day. Or those good men are in the friend zone, right? She's simply friend zoning the good men. But regardless of the situation, it is what it is.
A group of men come up and disrespect you. What do you expect your man to do?
Beat their ass?
The whole group.
Oh my God.
Like, it's a tough job being a nigga, ain't it?
course.
Jesus Christ. Like, on top of the fact that y'all expect us to pay for every goddamn thing, we
gotta
supposed
die
to
for
we
y'all.
we don't even have the luxury of being afraid like a normal human being.
You gotta
Motherfuckers start shooting in here right now. I'm supposed to go like this over you and run with you hand in hand, knowing damn well I could take off right now. I could be good.
You are hilarious.
I could do one of these right now and be gone. Good safety. You gonna get me shot. Around with you with these goddamn heels on. I told you not to wear them.
I want a dominant man.
Are you gonna lead or not?
That's still just like,
Are
if
you
really
a man
think
who
about
leads?
Are you gonna lead or not? That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So she's basically saying, hey, if a group of guys are ready to put hands and feet on you, or if they have a gun, are you ready to lead? Right? So she's basically putting you in a compromising situation where you're basically putting your life on the line and possibly dying for her, okay? For her. Any woman that is egging you on to take on a group of people that have a gun, or you're just simply outnumbered, is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. You're going to F around and get unalived in a situation like that. And she's gonna be at your funeral with another dude crying on his shoulder, right? You think she's going to be sticking around, mourning you? No. She's gonna move on to another guy, because any woman that gives a damn about you would either try to pull you away, try to de-escalate the situation, or try to talk some sense into it and say, you know what, it ain't even worth it. Let's just keep it moving. Let's get out of here. Let's live to fight another day, right? She would have some sort of reasoning to her, right? But for a woman to basically say, yeah, crash out and unalive yourself in a situation like this is crazy.
I think that's the reason that a lot of young men have decided not to get married or not to get married soon. What do you think is the root cause? Is it the intimidation of women going to school more, making more money, or is it more about just enjoying their own lives and being themselves? What do you think that is?
From the men that I've talk to about this very subject, it's their fear of being seen for who they really are.
Uh-huh.
See, when you're married,
everything shows.
oh, you do get depressed sometimes. Oh, you do lack confidence. Or you do have fears. And I tell brothers all the time, you must remember Lois Lane fell in love with Clark Kent, not Superman.
Right.
And so when brothers recognize that, like me and Nicole, I ain't had no money. She made more than me.
Right.
But we got it together. I didn't allow what I didn't have to stop me from getting who I had in front of me.
Right.
And so I tell brothers, like, there's, what's the classic, Mr. Wilson, I need to get my ducks in a row.
Right.
And I joke, so when have you ever seen ducks in a row? And they start laughing. I'm like, yes, you want to be prepared. Yes, you want to have your finances in order if you can.
Mm-hmm.
She's called a helper for a reason as well. Maybe that's what it took for me, because now I truly value who my wife is in my life.
Right.
That I can be transparent, and what makes it even more powerful, Bishop, is when she see you move through the fear.
Yeah.
When you can say, yeah, babe, I'm a little nervous here, or I'm scared this might not go well, but you still walk through it.
Right.
That's a testimony.
Yeah.
I seen you walk through that. But if she never sees it, then you get mad like they don't care.
Yeah.
You look like you're not affected by anything.
Yeah, so what he's basically describing is a traditional woman, right? A woman that's not going to take what you say and throw it in your face. A woman that's going to ride with you through thick and thin. A woman that's going to be there through richer or poor. Are modern women like that nowadays? I mean, let's keep it real. And, shout outs to Jason Wilson. Maybe he has a great situation. It seems like he's an older gentleman here. So, maybe he was able to find a good woman. But when you fast forward to 2026, they don't make women like they used to, right? Let's keep it real. Our grandpas didn't have to go through some of the nonsense that we're seeing nowadays when it comes to modern women in 2026 and beyond, right? Some of the things that these modern women talk about, it's all about the money. And if you don't have a certain amount of money, or if you're not of a certain height, yeah, they're out of here. Okay. You're not in a situation that makes sense. And I think that's what a lot of guys are simply looking at. Not necessarily they're afraid of showing who they are. It's more so showing who you are and then having somebody throw it in your face to justify a point, right? That they need to be right. Shame, insult, guilt need to be right. They need to be right in an argument, and they don't give a damn if they hurt your feelings or throw what you said in confidence back in your face, right? That's the issue there. Okay, if you want to talk about being afraid, that's what it is. Now, I do want to take a look at the comment section just to see what the folks have to say. First commenter says, they don't grow up seeing loving, healthy marriages, so they are doing what's natural for them. Now, somebody responds here and says, yep, I grew up with a large family, but not around marriage. I tend to not open up to women I've dated. I keep it in. Mostly because when I did open up, they threw it up in my face whenever there was an argument. So I said I'll never express my emotions again. Now somebody responds here and says FOH. Somebody else responds here and says, some of us can't get with modern day women because we saw loving, healthy, cooperative marriages and know that a lot of y'all aren't even close to that. Yeah, so there you have it. So yeah, it's a mixture of men basically saying that, they don't open up to women because ultimately women are going to throw it in our faces, which tends to be the case, okay, if we're keeping it real. And below that, you had a comment that basically said they saw loving, healthy relationships and they know what it's like to see that and how women should be operating when it comes to a long-lasting marriage. Marriage is not what men are afraid of. It's the divorce and these modern women using and weaponizing what we say against us. Next commenter says, Lois crushed on Superman for years and dismissed Clark as a lame. She only fell for Clark after years of suspicion that he might be Superman. She had eyes on the vision, but was ignoring the core until she saw they were the same. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, right? She was crushing on Superman for years because he had the cape. He was popular, right? He was trending, what have you. And, you know, Clark was right in front of her, right? She saw Clark every single day. And she wasn't as, or had a burning desire for Clark as she did with Superman.
Would you accept a $5,000 and $10,000 ring? And she said, no, it got to be 30K. So I'm looking at her. Lady, I'm like, you're saying 30K. But I'm looking at her because that's what everybody say they want a 1% man. That's what most 1% men gonna do. They gonna look at you. Do you fit what he wants on his arm? So I'm like, 30K. And then I'm listening to what she said. She's like, yeah, I'm worth it. What makes you worth a wedding ring for 30K when you can take that 30K and put it into whatever investment vehicle and now you up 140, 150K? And so a lot of people, especially in our community, that's why we have the highest divorce rate. A lot of people want to get married for the aesthetics, the wedding, the stuff. They're not trying to be married to be married. No. They're not trying to be, they want the show. They want to post, they want to hire the photographer, yes, the videographer to come do the wedding so they can post on Instagram for their friends. And it's like, we seek validation from people who don't care.
If y'all been together, let's say y'all been married for 10 years and you say, I'm finna,
you're finna upgrade.
Starting the marriage off like that, when you know these days, marriages don't even be making it to 5. Because I didn't seen it too many times, bro. I didn't have friends that spent $40,000-$50,000 on their wedding just to get divorced a year and a half later.
Insane.
And they didn't have that $40,000-$50,000. They went in debt to pay for it. Now the wedding is over. The marriage is over, and they still paying for it for 10 years after and they ain't even with this person no more. I done seen it happen so many times.
Bro, that's insane. But then it's like, do you really know who you married? Like, because I mean, if we gonna take it a step further, a lot of people date people just because of the way they look. You ain't thought about his or her mindset.
No.
You ain't thought about, can I actually build something sustainable with this person? You like, I like them right now. Okay, are you going to like them? You might like them in your 20s, but are you going to like them in your 30s? That's what really kills when people say, oh, somebody should know if they want to marry you in a year. Yeah, but I haven't seen you through all seasons of life. I need to see you I need to see you when you up. I need to see you when you down. I need to see you when you trying to get it together, because now you really know somebody. You know how they are under pressure. You know how they are when shit not going their way, because we both know a lot of people are front runners. It's cool. Hey, we win and we good. But when that trial and tribulation hit, they like, oh, I'm running for the hills. You didn't know that person, right? And people don't understand. My grandpa was married to the same lady before she died on Valentine's Day of 2020. They was married for what, 37 years? And I asked my grandpa, I said, what kept y'all married? He said, man, waking up every single day and knowing that this lady has the mindset, I need to help y'all get ahead. And then he said people aren't getting married for longevity. They're getting married for right now. Oh, girl, he's 6'5" and he muscular. Or he like, oh boy, she got a fat. You know how dudes talk. And it's like, okay, you marrying her for that? Or you marrying her for the BBL? Or you marrying her for the mindset?
All the years y'all gonna be married, y'all gonna be having sex probably less than 5% of the time. Yeah. So if you marry him for something that's just physical, it's gone. Most of the time, y'all not gonna be doing that. Most of the time, it's gonna be y'all sitting around having conversations, and you need to make sure you like this person. They think like you. This will make the conversations flow.
For sure. Like, I feel like a lot of relationships are hard because you don't really like this person. You like them for the physical. You ain't thought about nothing past that.
Yeah, so let me know what you guys think about that. Definitely a lot to unpack there. And, you know, spending $30,000 on a ring is absolutely diabolical. Okay, there's actually a stat. The higher the price tag for a wedding, the more likely it is to end in divorce, right? If you're not able to go to a courthouse or maybe get married in a church, spend $5,000, $10,000 max on a wedding, something like that, and she's not cool with that concept, and she wants a lavish, you know, $100,000 wedding, you may want to reevaluate your situation. I'm just saying, because as he alluded to in the video, you know, hey, $30,000 into the stock market, you know, I can do some damage with that, right? I'm just saying. So yeah, the fact that nowadays women are viewing the vanity things that don't really matter, like the height and your status and how much money you make right now, versus the longevity of the marriage. Yeah, that's what you should be looking at. The longevity of it, right? The 30, 40, 50 years of the marriage. And I've said this before, and I've gotten pushback from modern women. If you're looking to get married based on your happiness, don't get married. Don't get married, right? Because marriage is not about happiness. Marriage is not about your individual happiness and how you feel all the time, right? It's about the other person showing reciprocity. Now, if you have kids, right, your happiness definitely is going to go on the back burner. And it's about pouring into your family regardless of how you feel, right? It's about duty and responsibility. But, you know, like they alluded to and mentioned in the video, a lot of these modern women only care about the right now. They only care about their happiness. We've seen it on TikTok, story time, get ready with me, where these modern women talk about breaking up a happy home and starting a new chapter. It was only a season of their life and all this other stuff. Yeah, these are the things that is corrosive to a marriage, right? Having this sort of ideology is not going to last in a long-lasting marriage. If you talk to anyone that's been married for 20, 30, 40 years, they'll talk about how they've had ups and downs. They'll talk about how they didn't know, or if they even knew that it was going to last, right? They had some dark moments in the marriage as well as some good moments as well, right? So there's definitely a yin and a yang to a marriage for sure. But let me know what you guys think.
You know why nobody's relationship gets past the talking phase nowadays? Because everybody's trying to get to know each other by text message. Nobody wants to pick up the phone, talk, and have a conversation. How the hell are we going to get to know each other by text? Am I supposed to text you my whole life story? Like, am I supposed to, like, how are we going to get to know each other? I send you a text and then I don't hear from you for 24 to 48 hours, and that's how we get to know each other. Of course, the situationship is going to fall apart. Of course, we going to grow distant. We ain't even got close. Like, why does nobody, what's wrong with talking on the phone? Like, I really, and another thing, why do I have to pretend like I don't like you in order for you to like me? Why do I have to play games? If I have interest in you, why can't I show you that I like you without you backing up and running in the opposite direction? I just don't get it. Why is everybody doing that? What is up with these freaking games?
Let me know what you guys think about that, because generally speaking, I would have to agree with her. I mean, back in the day, you would talk on the home phone until the sun comes up the next day, right? You go to school and you do it all over again, right? So, you know, from that perspective, the old school perspective of building rapport, completely understand. I think nowadays, you know, with life and things moving so fast, you know, text is just more convenient. Now, I will say this, because obviously people do work and have responsibilities and things of that nature for sure. However, if you are interested in somebody, I mean, you will make time, right? Even if it's a quick 10-minute conversation, 20-minute conversation, or what have you, a FaceTime, or just meeting up in person, somebody that's actually interested in you will make time to do those things. So it seems like the people that she's meeting or interacting with are just simply not interested in her, right? They're just simply not interested in her. They don't care enough to do the things that possibly they don't normally do or wouldn't normally do, although they know that she likes having that sort of conversation, engagement, communication. Yeah, they're not willing to bend the knee, so to speak, to accommodate her. So yeah, it seems like, you know, whoever she's talking to, they're not interested.
I'm looking a little frizzy today, but y'all, I just want to randomly come on and ask, why does 50-50 conversation get so much hate? Because if you look at it, 50-50, those are equal values. Those are equal parts. So when people say, let's go 50-50, I get what some people are trying to say, but what the equation suggests is that you're both putting in the same amount of effort. If we break it down, that's 1 to 1. I show up fully, you show up fully, 50-50. If you increase the numbers to 100-100, it's still 1 to 1. I show up fully, you show up fully. But I think people just don't like the connotation of 50-50 because people try to present it as let's go half on everything when really y'all are pouring everything that you have into one pot. I was just thinking.
All right, guys, so there you have it. So I think when women hear 50-50, they automatically go to finance, right? Well, you know, I got to financially take on a guy or talk to a guy that's willing to go 50-50, although I don't want to go 50-50, which doesn't even make sense in itself because somebody is taking away 50% of your responsibilities. Therefore, in theory, your life should be 50% better, right? They rather take on 100% solo than to take on 50% of the responsibilities, which doesn't even make sense, right? And she's absolutely right in the video where it's basically suggesting that there's reciprocity and you have two individuals coming together and pouring into each other, right? Why does that sound like a bad deal to modern women? And the reason being is because they've been brainwashed and programmed into thinking that's a bad deal, when in reality, majority of people will have to go 50-50, right? Majority of people are average, making average salaries, coming together and going 50-50 to some degree, right? So, you know, again, to answer her question, it's programming. It really is. But let me know what you guys think about this one. Give me some feedback, and until next time.